So I have us right at the top of the hour. We'll give just one more minute, see if anybody else comes on. And if not, or even if so, then we'll just get started. In the meantime, I'll share my screen, or part of my screen anyway. Maybe I won't. There we go. Hey, Charles, just allowed you to share the screen. But it seems like it stopped.
Yeah, thanks for that. I was trying to grab some error output to see if, but I don't see any new JavaScript errors appearing when I do that. But just trying to grab some stuff to share with Alessandro.
Yeah, I just ran into this as well. And I hear an echo on your side, or hear an echo, Charles. I don't know if it's.
I have an echo. Let me try stopping my audio.
Okay. But I ran into an interesting error. I will. I'll take a screenshot of it, and but I'm going to have to drop off, I think. To get to share screen. Okay, Taro. Hey, Tim, I just saw you send audio. Ah, there we go. You see your slides.
Seems to be working. At least I'm using Chromium and sharing one screen, one window only. So that seems to be at least good.
Yeah.
Are you using Firefox also?
I'm sorry?
Are you using Firefox?
I am using Firefox, yes.
Because I understand the Salesforce road having a problem with Firefox.
Interesting.
So, Safari?
Safari, the audio works. One note about Safari is that if you share your screen in Safari, I believe you have to share your entire screen. You can't choose an application. I'm having a problem though. I'm going to drop off and rejoin. See if that works or helps fix it. Just a second.
Hello.
Fantastic.
You're muted, Greg.
There we go. Thank you. Tim, did you want to say something? See, you're sending audio. Did not hear you, Tim, if you were speaking. Okay. Great. Well, thanks to everybody for joining. My name is Greg Wood. I'm with the IETF LLC. I have a quick rundown or a quick script. Interesting. Okay. So maybe I've run into this issue again. I'm not able to share my screen with Firefox. Is that a known issue now at this point?
Yeah, it isn't, but I think Charles Eccles is experiencing the same issue. So there might be something going on with Firefox, maybe with the recent update of Firefox, because I'm using Firefox myself, and as I said to Charles, we did test it from macOS Catalina just a couple of days ago. So I don't know if there has just been some updates that may have broken something. We will definitely look into that, and if we manage to reproduce it, we will fix it. But it's weird because I guess that you actually shared the screen with Firefox earlier today, right, Greg?
Correct.
Which version of Firefox are you using?
I think it's 82.
Yeah, I'm using 82. This is going to be difficult if I can't share my screen, so I'm going to try again with to join with Chrome, see if that fixes it. So apologies for the delay.
I was using, or I am using 82.0.2. That's what I'm using. Maybe I'll try with Chrome also.
Okay, maybe third time is. Okay, maybe third time's a charm. Can people hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. And Alessandro, if you wouldn't mind changing my role to chair so I can share that screen. Okay. Fantastic. Let me try this again. Okay. Excellent.
I get a little thing that says your screen up. Yep, it's coming up.
Yes.
I was getting a little thing on the bottom right that says a screen is being shared.
Yes. Yeah, and there's a little bit delay because you have to pick which window.
It arrived.
Sorry, you
Gotcha.
should not see the screen. Yeah. And let me see if I can adjust the size here to make it work better. Great. Okay. Fantastic. Well, thanks again to everybody for joining, and thanks for your patience as we get things sorted out here. We did run into a few issues in the first session that we've noted, and we have some more items here to take a closer look at. My name is Greg Wood. I'm from IETF LLC. I want to especially thank the Medico folks who are joining from either very late at night or very early in the morning, depending on your view of things. The goal of the session is just to get folks familiar with Medico in case you haven't used it before, to highlight some of the changes that have been made since IETF 108 if you did use it during that, and to provide an opportunity to ask questions and to try things out for session chairs in the upcoming meetings. In particular, during the first session earlier today, we had some time for people to try out sharing their screens, and as we've already experienced, there can be some bugs to work out with those. So if you're able to stick around, I have a short script that I'm going to run through just to highlight things. Some of it will be the same as you've seen in MeetEcho before. Some of it will be different, and I'll pay special attention to point those out when we get to those parts that are different. I'll also share my screen, because you can see in this session I am chair, so this is the view that I have is the view that you would see when you join as chair for your sessions, and so you'll get a chance to take a look at those. Just real quick here, and let's get that down there. Okay, so here are the topics that we'll cover. A little more. There we go. So just run through the documentation and testing plans, talk a little bit about the MeetEcho requirements, talk about joining the sessions, how that'll work, and how various things are tied into Data Tracker. And then we'll run through the MeetEcho window layout, and again, talk about some of the features that are a little bit different this time based on feedback that we received after 108. I'm just gonna pop out chat here to take a look and try and track that as we go. But if I miss something, or you have a comment as we're going around, please just hop on in. So there we go. Okay. So as we had last time, there will be web pages with a session chair guide that'll highlight some of the specific roles and features or capabilities and features that you'll want to be sure to use as a session chair. We got some feedback this morning, so that'll be updated probably in the next day or so. We also have a general MeetEcho, sort of a how-to for MeetEcho in general. That's been updated since IETF 108 to talk about some of the features. So those two things are available. In addition, there's a checklist for chairs that you can use to just sort of run through and make sure you have things set up to have your session run smoothly, like identifying a Jabber scribe in advance, identifying someone to take notes, and so forth. So pretty standard stuff. Yeah, we have these two session chair sessions, testing sessions. And in addition, over the next 36 hours or so, we'll have 3 sessions for participants. On top of that, during the meeting week, we'll have, as we did last time, the ability for session chairs to book time slots so that they can test their setups on meeting week in advance of their sessions. That was very helpful last time, and we're going to do it again this time. And finally, there will be testing sessions both 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after, except for the last day of the meeting. But those sessions will be available for anybody to just drop in and try out their MeetEcho setup before the sessions start on the day. And I'll probably be there, and if there are particular things that we want to run through, that someone wants to run through, we can definitely do that then. So that's sort of a review of everything that we expect to have ready to make sure people are able to participate and run sessions smoothly during IETF 109. Let me just talk a little bit about the joining the sessions flow, which you've already been through if you're now here, so congratulations on that. And you're familiar with this if you participated in 108, and that is the blue sheets for sessions are now generated automatically based on your data tracker login. So if you join a session, when you log in with data tracker, it'll automatically generate the blue sheet, which is convenient. One upshot of that is that you are only able to join a single session or any particular session one time. So you can't join from 2 different browser windows into the same session because your data tracker ID is tied to your presence in that session. So you can only use that once. However, you can join multiple sessions using your data tracker ID in different browser windows. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is if you are a chair for a session, you're the designated chair, you will be joined to that session that you're chairing as a chair in the chair role. So you'll be able to do all the things that a chair can do in that role. And in addition, folks like the responsible area directors for a session will have, I believe they'll have chair privileges as well, which means I think it means just some slight additional capabilities, but they'll have those chair capabilities, even though they'll be listed as participants in the participant list. Yeah. So with that, are there any questions about either of those things before we start the tour of Medico? And if you want to, you can test the join the queue function by clicking the raise hand. I see Linda, so I see you in the queue, Linda. If you want to speak, you can start sending audio by clicking the microphone with the little play button on it. Go ahead, Linda.
So what about some participants who have contributions to 2 working groups, but they need to present at 2 places? How do they do that?
How do they present at 2 places during the same time slot? Is that the question? I'm sorry, Linda, could you restate the question? I'm not sure I understood. If you want to speak again, Stan,
She
you'll...
was asking that question that you said, and the answer is that you can join 2 different sessions, but you can't join the same session twice.
Yes, that's correct. That's right. Thank you, Michael. Yeah. Yeah. So Linda, I think that addresses your question. I'm going to remove you from the queue, but if it doesn't, please join again. Bob, please go ahead. You can press the play button on the microphone.
Same with if I wanted to send video. Does that work? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So yeah, I think this is there's several things here I like better than previous versions. So good job. So good. Thank you.
Excellent. Hey, Fred. Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment. There are 2 differences, I think, from behavior from last time. One is that anybody can send audio at any time. Actually, I'm not sure if that's a change, but the model is that if you want to speak at the microphone, you should enter the queue first and then be recognized and then speak. But it is always possible for you to sort of stand up in the middle of the room and just start shouting if that's what you want to do. So there's no requirement. You can send audio at any time, even if you're not in the queue. One change is that I think anybody can start sending video without asking permission, and that's a change from last time. So with that, Fred, please go ahead. Ooh, I can't hear you, Fred.
Microphone button.
Can you say something to see if we can hear you now? Okay, I see Fred stepped out of the queue. So we'll come back though, Fred, and see if we can sort that out. Mike, please go ahead. And you'll need to press the little microphone with the play button on it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thanks. So last time at 108, when I joined my working group meeting, it came up as my working group meetings as a chair. It didn't have my name. So is it changed now, like when I attend other meetings, the last time it continued to show that I was the chair. Does it now go back to my name? Is that?
Interesting. Maybe what I'll do now is stop sharing my screen, and then I'll restart to show you what I see, and we'll get this recursive effect, because I think we're kind of in that time. So let me just do this. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up on chat, so I apologize. Yes, Pete does. I just glanced. I see Pete asks a really interesting question, which I'm going to ask if we can try a little experiment at the end here, which is for anyone who's left, is to have everybody send video all at once, because that's definitely something we want to try out. So you should now see my screen, which is sort of a recursive effect on my my Meetup browser. And just to your question, so you can see in the upper left-hand corner my name with the chair role, which is what I was made. And when you join your session, you should join in that chair role. And you can see also down here the indication that I'm the chair, the only chair, and you're a participant. Two other just finer details here is that you can see that people in the queue are indicated in yellow. People who are sending audio are in green, and you and I are both sending audio. So, and then also you can tell that I'm sending audio and speaking, because you can see the blue pulsing on my avatar and also around my video window. So that's another indication.
So when you join a meeting where you're not the chair, it will no longer say, like when I joined, so I chair the PIM working group, and so when I joined it just said PIM working group chair instead of Mike McBride. But when I attended other meetings, it continued to say PIM working group chair as a participant. And I just wanted to know if that was still the case for this time as well.
That's interesting. I didn't hear about that. Maybe my understanding, the expectation is you will just be listed as participant as you are now, and that you won't have the role assigned to you as a chair if you're just joining some other. So if that comes up, please let us know. Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. I'm gonna remove you from the queue, and you'll see another feature where I can click on your hand with the X to remove from the queue, and also I can, as chair, I can stop your audio. So I'm going to do that. I do see Fred sending video, but I'm going to recognize David Black since he's next in the queue.
Just answer my question. Having watched the first presidential debate here, do we have a mute button? The answer is yes, we do. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Interesting use case for Meetup, wouldn't it be? Michael, please go ahead.
Right. So there's Mike. I like the chat that detaches. It is still weird that you can pick the chat, like you can have two windows that the chat's detached and the chat is not detached. And I guess they fixed one thing that is good, which wasn't so great in the RIPE, is that if your window's not wide enough, the left-hand side gets narrow and you don't see all the buttons. So I don't think that's an issue, because we don't have as many buttons on the top as RIPE did. Like we have show of hands and chat and participants list, and RIPE had like 3 more. Okay. And they didn't all get shown, so that's really good. And I just thought I'd turn on my video to see, if we could break it. That's all. Good. And when I was seeing video, how many can we inside your infinite recursion? We should be able to break the video much faster with the infinite recursion, shouldn't we?
I have no idea, but you know, I'm always willing to try things. So Bernard is helping out with that effort, and Bob looks like he's joining in. Any other questions, Michael, or comments?
No, I just turned it on to see how it happened.
Okay, I'm gonna kick you out of the queue then, but you can.
Okay, but I'm gonna keep talking until you do that.
Okay,
So
well,
you better click mute me.
Yeah, I'll do that too. There you go. Now we can see you, but we can't hear you, which is perfect. Bob, please go ahead. Did you want to say something?
Just to clarify, so the procedure is a participant, you know, raises their hand, and we don't turn on their mic. They will turn on their mic.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
And video.
Procedures, they raise their hand, which is equivalent to walking up into the microphone queue, and then when they're recognized by the chair, then they may start speaking, and to do that, they need to click on their own. You can.
Okay.
Very nice
So, but
feedback for that.
Wait, say it again, please, Sarah.
I was thinking about it would be very nice to have a feedback, so if you actually could be, you know, clicking it, now he's recognized, and he would see that, okay, red like that, then we should be start talking.
I see. So maybe you
Yeah,
don't
just a little visual feedback mechanism there.
Yeah.
I mean, turning on someone's microphone, let alone turning on their video, could be exceedingly embarrassing.
well, but when they did put their name in the queue, so
Right, but you know, you allow someone to stop picking their nose before they, you know, actually get on, and you know, or
So Greg,
you know, make bodily sounds or what have you.
Greg, when you muted me, my video kept going.
Yeah, that's right. I can kick you out of video independently, but I didn't want to lose the video testing. So you can see here, you have, as chair, you have controls to stop people's different media streams. If someone else were sharing their desktop, you have to stop them from sharing the desktop. And that's actually a point that I'll say now. And then I do want to do a quick tour of the interface. Maybe we hear Fred now. Do we hear you, Fred? Can you say something?
Hi, something.
Excellent. We hear you. Nice job.
Okay, well, that's good. Now I know which browser to use. Not Chrome. Definitely not Chrome. When I'm not sure how to mimic what I heard when I was on Chrome, but it was like that kind of a sound.
That's interesting. Don't know why that would be, but I'm glad you're here now. I just want to say one thing about this, and then I think we covered Bob's question, so I'm going to remove you from the queue, Bob, and then Linda, I'll get to you in a second. One finer detail is that only one desktop can be shared at a time, and you must stop sharing a desktop before the next desktop can be shared. So even if for example, Pete, if you were to request to share your desktop, so thank you. Even if I were to grant that, it won't take because, as it says, that it's already, there's only one slot for that media, and I have it at the moment. So I'm gonna thank you for playing along, and I will stop that. So, and with that, I'll just turn up to Linda. Linda, did you have a question? Please go ahead. You'll need to click on the little microphone icon with the play button on it. It doesn't show you as sending audio, Linda. Let me just show you. This is you should see this icon, but with a play audio. Yes, and just catching up on chat here. Right, when you want to recognize someone as chair, they should be in the queue, and then you will need to you'll need to ask them. So, Linda, if you're having problems with your audio,
the queue is simply a way to be polite. It's raising your hand, quite literally, and whether you start speaking or not is entirely out of band, or at least separately in band.
Yeah, it is literally a queue management. That is people lining up, and okay, Linda, if you click on the square, maybe start and stop it again. Maybe a browser sharing issue, I think, because you're not indicating as sending audio or even trying, so it's not a microphone thing. Linda, if we can't figure this out at this session, we can definitely schedule a time. Okay, great, thank you. I just want to make sure we get around, because there are some new features that I do definitely want to hit. We've kind of gone through the join queue, which is just a hand raised, sharing screens and video and audio. So we had a lot of hands-on practical explanation about that. In the upper right-hand corner, we have the same, kind of the same set of icons that we had before. One change is this: we have a note-taking tool, and I'm not in gallery view, so I can't see what you're seeing, but I think you can see this. And for some reason, my browsers do not usually give a preview of the CodeMD for this session. But if I click in a new tab, it will share. Let's see what you're seeing here. Interesting. If I click on the note-taking tool, do you see the CodeMD pad for this session?
We see your tab.
Yeah, so if I'm here now, do you see CodeMD or no?
CodeMD.
If I try to open the note-taking, I just see the CodeMD, but then I see a spinning ball that doesn't load anything. Unless I open the new tab.
Interesting. Okay. Let me just share my entire screen so you can see what I'm seeing. I don't see the spinning ball. So this is the CodeMD.
When I originally went there, they were saying that, okay, so here's something, and then I click there, and then I think the CodeMD, background stuff. But yeah, I can open it with that with a new tab.
Yeah.
I can actually see the CodeMD. It just went away, but somebody was typing into it.
Yeah, because I'm popping around my browser tabs and I'm sharing my entire desktop. So yeah.
So I can see it.
Okay. Can you open it, by the way?
Let me see.
Yeah.
See that it
was
says
able to clicked it and I opened it in a new tab, and then I moved the tab to a new window, and it all seems good.
Okay. Yeah, there's something. What should happen, or what's expected to happen, is that you should see the CodeMD in the presentation mode, which is what you're seeing now. But when you click on the notepad icon up here in the upper right, the CodeMD should appear in the main window area.
That's working.
Okay. I'm just going to go quickly because we're running through time here. This is meeting materials, the same as it was last time. There are no meeting materials for the session and no agenda, but if usually you see the data tracker information here. So if you've uploaded slides to data tracker, that information will appear here with links to the document, to the slides. This is a tour of Minico. There are some notification settings, which I think there were some comments on last time, but it's just basically, do you want notifications for new chats or for people trying to share media? And then lastly, this is new. You can change your input devices while you're in the session. So I don't have any other options on my setup, but you can do if you're in a session. And I said finally, really
when I tried to change microphones mid-session, Safari and Meet Echo were not having a good conversation.
Oh,
It complained about permissions. I think it doesn't re-ask for permissions, so you have to reconnect audio to get it to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting interaction level permissions and Meet Echo. We can talk a little bit more about that too.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I managed to change the microphone to be different microphone.
Okay. Fantastic. It worked for you. Last one is this looks like a pencil sharpener to some people, but it's really an open door. So if you want to walk out that open door, this is to leave the room. So this is the way to leave the session elegantly. So, Linda, I see your hand again. I just wanted to see if you could send audio now in the new browser, I guess. You'll have to click the microphone icon. Okay, I'm still not seeing you send audio, so maybe we can troubleshoot this offline. Permission denied. Okay. Sorry about that. We'll definitely have to do this offline. I see people in the queue, so I'm going to go through the queue for the moment. We're only halfway around the world, so we'll continue to go. Bob, did you want to say something?
And the thing you're sharing, so there's a button, I assume this is for chairs. There's a button that says mute all and then mute audience. What are those and what's the difference?
Yeah, sharp eyes there. And you're jumping ahead, but it's good to call. So as a chair, you can mute everybody, including people in the queue, but not chairs, not yourself. So that's what that button does. If you want just a quick way to, maybe this is to, I forget who made the suggestion about the presidential debates, but this would be mute everybody but the chair. Mute audiences, everybody who's a participant but isn't in the queue. So in this case, we would be muting Pete's audio if you were sending audio. And that's, I think, just in case there's somebody from the floor who has accidentally left their audio open, you can easily just make sure that it's only people in the queue who are sending audio. Okay. Tara, did you have a question?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about that. One of the things I noticed that it's actually sometimes a little bit hard to see when you are, for example, if you left your microphone open or something. I see that there's there in the top of the screen there is this green bar telling, but it would be actually nice to have a bit more feedback. That do you have your audio and video is very easy to see because there's your video screen in the room, but audio is much easier to forget.
Yeah, so there are two feedback mechanisms. So first of all, while you're speaking, you can see the bar graph underneath your name,
yes.
And you can see the indicator on your avatar here and around your video window. You may notice there's a pulsing rectangle. When you stop, the green bar on your name stops. So that is the indication. Since I'm still sending video and sharing my screen, the green stays in the participant list.
And if I understand correctly, if you now click them mute audience, it will silence. It will remove Fred's microphone, but not mine or yours, right?
Yeah. Let's see if that works.
Try that.
Yeah, let's try it. Sorry, Fred. There we go.
Okay. So it's so the queue actually have some other meaning than just having a queue, because it actually also indicates that you are one of those that are supposed to be talking. So I shouldn't be removing people from the queue immediately when they start speaking, but only after they have finished their stuff.
Yeah.
And if you actually kick me out from the queue, does it actually kill my audio also?
It should not, no, unless I do something else. So I can kick
You
you from
can
the
try that
queue,
and see.
but your audio.
Okay, so it doesn't kill my audio.
Yeah.
Because I think that actually would be something that would actually be useful to be for the chairs, because if somebody has finished, okay, and now next person, he can of course come back with an audio immediately, but it would be, making sure that his, audio gets turned off automatically.
Okay. Okay. Tim, please go ahead.
Well, I'll even turn my video on. There we go. I noticed on the bottom of my screen, just like on the bottom of your screen, there's a little red thing saying recording. So, given the general era of paranoia, I'd like to know who's recording what. So is it being recorded at both ends? Is it making a local recording on my computer? What's up?
Yeah, good. First of all, apologies. I should have mentioned that right away. This session is being recorded. The idea is to share at least one of the recordings of the test sessions so that people who couldn't make it can see the recording. If anybody on this session has a concern about that, you can just email me directly and we won't share this session. I did announce it in the previous session when we started. I just forgot this time, so sorry. The recording is being made in the cloud somewhere. There's not a local copy, so it's a cloud recording. And as all IETF meeting sessions are recorded, the recording is set to start automatically. So there's nothing that you as a chair need to do to record your session. And then of course, those are made available as part of the proceedings. Cool. Thank you for asking that. And again, I'm sorry for not pointing out to start. Great. Okay, Bob, yes? But you'll need to press send because I muted you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. So, question. So, we have about, I don't know, about 10 people here. So what happens to the participant list when you have 100 people? Assume it just scrolls down off the bottom?
That's right. It scrolls down off the bottom.
So are we going to get any, so the thing, whatever that thing is that shows that I'm talking, you won't be able to see that if it's scrolled off the bottom. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna window and you'll see the scroll bar and you'll see what happens. You can still see it.
Yeah, I think.
Let me try that. Hold on.
Sorry, Alessandro, once you start speaking, up to the top of the participant, or once you start sending media, I should say, you don't need to be speaking. Does that make sense?
Wait, so what is the answer?
So if a participant starts sending media, even if they're not in the queue, they pop towards the top of the participant list. So for example, you can see on my display, Tim is now at the bottom of the participant list. But if he were to start sending media, either audio or video, he would pop to the top. So he would be there you see right away.
Greg, I think Bob was asking
Okay.
The little thing that looks like an audiogram. Will that disappear if you start scrolling up and down? And the answer is no. That's in a stationary part of the window. The participant list scrolls independently.
No, I actually was asking about the. We have an echo now, but the one on the person, so I could see who, if someone is speaking and they shouldn't be, I will, well, if it pops up to the top of the list, then that's fine. But that's what I was asking about. Because the bar graph thing is just for me, I think.
Yeah, that's right. You're just the bar graph. So. While we're on audio, and I do want to just continue the tour a little bit. If people have problems with their audio, the reconnect button is a helpful tool. Sometimes that'll solve it right away. There's obviously, the toggle audio means muting, so you can still be sending, but you'll mute yourself, or I'm sorry, mute the feed to you, not yourself, but mute the feed to you. And this is the local, the volume control, basically. And then this, as Tim pointed out, this is the recording indicator, and you can see bit rates for the audio in and out. We talked a lot about this. We talked a lot about the chat panel. The only thing we haven't talked about, and I for sure want to get to, is the show of hands tool. So the show of hands, people might remember the experimental hum tool from 108. So the feedback that we got at the end of 108 indicated that that wasn't as useful as we thought it might be, and so as an experiment decided not to continue it. But there was feedback that it would be useful to be able to get some indication of people as a yes/no kind of feedback. So asking a question like, who here has read the draft or something like that. So this tool is intended to replicate that kind of in-person feedback that you might get in a meeting room. And there are a few other subtle differences, well, maybe not subtle, but a few other differences from the experimental hum tool. One is that you can type a question here. So like, have you read the draft? And then you can start that question. You should get an indication that, as you see that a new question has been raised. You can see the text that I typed at the top of that question, and you can see that you have the option to positively or affirmatively raise your hand or affirmatively not raise your hand. And the idea there is that this is a way for people to indicate that they're listening to the question and that they want to raise their hand, and that or they've heard the question, but they don't want to raise their hand. So you can tell by the difference between those two things and the participant number, you can tell that we have about 8 people who are listening and 3 people who are not. And as I see the numbers changing, you can change your mind. So at some point, you as chair can just end that question, which I'll do.
I didn't see that on my screen, on yours. But
that's right.
I've seen that on.
No, as a chair, only as a chair do you see the option to end the session.
I mean, I didn't see. I could see the show of hands thing on your screen, but it didn't come up on mine.
Oh.
Oh, I have to switch over to the tab. Okay, so what you got to
Switch to that tab. That's actually, I think it will be very useful to automatically switch to that tab when there is a question.
I was going to say the same thing. That would be really good to push that out to everyone.
Okay, so I'm doing this. It does turn out that you need to think a little bit about how you write the question. At least for me, it's not always natural to write the question in a way that lends itself to a raise a hand kind of thing. So you should see an indication in the lower right that a new thing has started, but as chair, you may need to prompt, since we don't have the auto switch thing at the moment, to get people to raise their hand. So if you think we should auto switch the tab, please raise your hand now. If you think we should not, please keep your hand down. Okay, so useful feedback here. It looks like the majority of people in this session think we should auto switch the tab. They don't have, and we have at least 3 people who are either not listening or don't care. So that's good feedback.
As a plan to do that, advise people to detach the chat because auto switching away from chat is going to surprise people. Auto switching away from other things is probably okay.
Could you say that again? I didn't quite get the last bit.
That window where the tab is also a window where the chat is.
Yes.
If you advise people to detach the chat so that the chat is not in a window that will vanish in the auto switch, you will avoid pulling people out of chat when you start a hand raise. So if you're planning to do a hand raise and it's going to cause auto switch, you probably want to advise your participants at the start of the meeting to detach the chat for that reason, because it's a better experience.
Yeah, and we'll that's a good point, and we'll definitely highlight that feature in the testing sessions. And for example, it's helpful because the detached chat is helpful because then you can always keep an eye on the participant list, which is one of the main pieces of feedback that we got as well. So yeah, good point. Thank you. Michael, you still have your hand raised. Is that okay? Just wanted to check.
I wanted to complain now that we've had enough people. The fact that as you scroll across people's names, it shows up this chat button, and then bounces all the other names up and down. It's really annoying, and particularly since the most obvious thing, if you want to see the thing, is you put your mouse into that area, and then you scroll your scrolly wheel to see the people at the bottom. At which point everything bounces around, and anyway, and you can't even. The point is that trying to click as a chair, that would probably bot where you might be able to cancel people's stuff. That would probably be bonkers, and I'd probably wind up kicking the wrong person out or something.
I see.
So I like the chat button, but I don't like that it opens up this other box below. I tried making my window wider to see if maybe it was just me that it would wind up to the right, but no, that didn't help. I have only like the whole thing in a quarter of my screen, right? The right hand 1/4 of my two screens, so that I have space for the chat and the jabber and the slides and the whatever.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good fine point. Thank you, Tiro.
One of the things I was actually doing is actually, as I said, there's in some of those browsers, if you right click on the video, for example, your own screen, I don't know if it works for you, but if you right click on that, it says a picture in picture somewhere, in actually, the video screen. Or you don't have a probably new enough Chrome or Firefox. But if you have, that has a picture in picture where you can actually detach, for example, the screen that you are sharing. And then you can use gallery view. So I have actually, everybody's video feeds, and then I have a separate window for the slides.
Oh, that really works.
Separate video for
that really
chat.
works, Taro. Although you get the video
I think that's
twice.
actually one of the best ways of doing this, because one of the problems is that this, screen sharing is taking lots of space if you're using it inside the screen.
Yeah. One thing we hopped right over was the ability to do gallery view. And I noticed that we're coming to just the top of so this is a different way to see all the video, and if you can detach the shared screen, then I don't know if it still works, but yeah.
It does.
Okay.
If you actually allow me to share my screen, I can show what I have currently.
Yeah, okay. Let me stop mine, and then if you request your sharing, I can do that. I accepted that. But your audio seems to have stopped. I don't know why.
So, okay, it's still
there we go.
Coming.
Okay. Okay. Well,
sharing now.
Screen.
Yeah.
My detached non-gallery view is blank now.
Yeah, it's actually when it sends the video, so you need to you need to do it again. So this is what I have now. So this is my window that has all the videos. This is my shared screen, all the slides.
Yeah.
In the in the right side, and then I have a chat there, and so I can move all of these around. I can make this bigger if I want.
Okay.
Or move it around. So it's actually.
But there's a limit to how big. There's a limit to how big it would make it for me.
Yeah, that's actually true. Probably the resolution of the. Oh no, actually it can't. I don't know. But this is Nice feature.
Yeah, so we're diving very deep. That's great. Thank you. I just want to say, Fred, just make sure you saw that raise hand. I'm going to share my screen again. And I'll just, there we go. So the raise hand feature is, you should see it says join queue. Fred, if you can see my screen now.
So, okay, it's the thing that looks like a hand being raised?
Yes, it has the hand like that, or maybe the other hand the other way, and it's got two little up arrows. So if you click on that hand, it'll join the queue. See myself. So that's actually a good point. As a chair, you can put yourself in the queue. So if I take myself out of the queue, then I come in the back. At the end of the queue, I see Fred has dropped out of the queue. I see Michael in the queue again. Did you have a comment, Michael? You have to press the send.
Just like to make it go and see it go add and subtract through all the infinite recursion.
Ah, I see. Okay. There you go. Nice.
So I think you're telling me that joining the queue saying I would like to talk is the same button as yes, I would agree with whatever statement somebody made.
No, it's
they're not separate buttons.
They are separate buttons. They are the agree with the statement is the show of hands tool, which I'm mousing over right now. So it's a separate tab here, and so you can see that you have to go to that tab. You should get a notification to go to the tab. But if you click on that little bar graph tab, you'll have the option to have sort of a radio button choice between raising your hand if you like chocolate, or you're not raising your hand if you don't like chocolate.
Yeah, there's no independent, always available button to give a big okay or thumbs up or whatever.
Right. Okay.
So somebody would want to have a +1 button?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay.
On my audio and waving excitedly, that's fine.
Thanks for stopping by, Tim. I think you're on your way out. We have 3 minutes left in the hour that I think we had allotted. I'm happy to stay after, by the way, if people want to test things. But with the people that are still here, I'm wondering if we could all try turning on video to do that test. Anybody who's willing, anyway. And I'm going to go to the gallery view. Good to see everybody. Alessandro might be asleep because it's in the middle of the night. Oh, there, he's awake. He's awake. Red's here. Okay, well, we have 9 streams. That's good. I think that's the most I've ever seen. So awesome. You all look fantastic. Thank you very much.
And no apparent degradation in performance.
Did we have more in the plenary last time?
Well, yeah, if everybody in the plenary turned on, that might be a little exciting.
Meaning the IIT and ISC.
Yeah, there is going to be a maximum number of allowed inflows anyway. That will be, I think, 16 for the plenary. And this very room is actually 12 videos from the webcams plus one for sharing. It's a configuration thing, by the way.
So the thing I've noticed is that the fan on my laptop is running, but it seems like it's still helpful to use a headset because to avoid echo. Is that?
Yeah, and I'm not listening to my own advice, but yeah, that's for sure one of the very first tips that we give in the documentation. So.
Audio, Greg, sounds actually pretty good. I get the sense that mine is echoey.
Okay.
I was trying to watch the bubbles to see if I could catch whose system was echoing, and I couldn't see. It was too short. So I wonder if there is any thought to a longer decay, maybe, so we could see that and mute the right person who's generating echo.
That seems like a pretty. That's a very high level idea. It's over beyond my capability. I'm going to stick with use headsets, but
or just the chair can mute audience. Only
yeah,
keep
that's right.
those that are in the queue.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and by the way, one useful hint may be if somebody is not wearing headset and you hear echo, one suggestion could be to just keep talking for a while, because the echo canceller, the browser echo canceller, takes a little while to kick in. So if you stop as soon as you hear echo, basically the echo canceller cannot do its job. So if you keep on talking, the echo canceller should cancel the echo.
And
it tries at least.
Is it the echo canceller my browser, or the echo canceller of the guy who's not wearing a headset?
It's the echo canceller of the guy who's not wearing a headset. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I love these things. I learn something new every time.
Was that also the reason why you say that we shouldn't be using the mute box button in your microphone? Like I have this turning up, it actually mutes the microphone. But he suggested, not use that. Instead, you stop the audio and start the audio.
I hadn't considered that at all. I assumed
somebody said it last time in the last meetings. Somebody was saying that you shouldn't be using the built-in mute buttons in your microphones. Even if you're a chair, you might want to be able to talk all the time. So you should usually be just muting it in the local microphone. You should keep it running and or stop the audio when you are not when you don't want to talk.
Yeah, I think I don't recall that, but I think that's probably harder to track indications here in meeting. The mute probably use screen sending audio, so it's hard to see who's trying to talk. Michael, did you understand anything else? Yeah, Pete. Please go.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I mean, I've got to go now. I only had till the top of the hour, but
Now I've lost your audio, Pete.
now,
Yeah,
testing one. Oh, okay, so I've got to leave because it is the top of the hour, but I was wondering if there is going to be another opportunity or a continuing opportunity to log into a room as chair to play around with stuff.
Yeah, definitely. During meeting week, we'll have 30-minute slots where chairs can come together and test their setup together, and invite people who are participating in your session join those slots. We can work out material sharing. That's definitely we found helpful to make sure who are expected to share this screen actually can do. So yeah, those will be bookable slots during meeting week.
Only during the meeting week itself, not beforehand.
Yeah, I think that's the current plan. If you have a request and we can make it happen, just shoot an email and we'll see about making that happen.
By the way, was I the only one hearing echo during that conversation?
I was hearing an awful lot of echo.
But now
Greg was echoing.
I couldn't understand.
Nobody else was echoing, but Greg was echoing every time he talked.
Yep.
I accept full responsibility. I have no headset, so I'm sorry. I'll do better next time.
It was actually Pete causing that one. Because when he muted himself, then we lost the echo.
Yeah. And Pete is now not sending audio. So sorry, Pete. Good to see you. Let me know if we need to set something up in advance.
And
Okay.
my other question is, so I've noticed that occasionally the screen will sort of like flash or something. I don't know how to describe it exactly. Am I the only one seeing that?
I do not see it.
Okay. I mean, it keeps working, so it's only a little annoying. But okay, well, this is very good. I feel it's a nice improvement over last time.
Great. Well, thanks for joining, Bob. Good to see you.
Good. I will go think about dinner.
I'll make a plan.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.
8 o'clock in the morning here, so I will need to get my next session soon.
Oh, thanks for joining. Fred, I see your microphone open. Did you want to say something? No. Okay. Great. Okay. Well, with that, let me just check chat. I don't see any other questions. Great. Well, thanks a bunch, everybody, for joining. I'll see you all next time on the internet.